I have always been very interested in Haiti, and it's only because I was born near the border of Haiti in the Dominican Republic in a town called Manzanillo. And it always intrigued me to see how Haiti was once one of the greatest possessions of the French Empire, and its commodities, how they were sold, and how many things emerged from this island. And I became very much intrigued when I was in France in the archives to see that there were black soldiers, and not only black soldiers, but led by a commander, Toussaint Louverture, a general, which Napoleon commended to the post of general over white officers as well, and gave to these people, to this black army, flags, fanions, drapeaux, and organized them into battalions of great power and ability to tackle in warfare. And I was very much intrigued, and I decided to research them, their uniforms, their flags, the decrees that allowed them to be part of a French ordinance that legitimized them as part of the Napoleonic army in the island of Hispaniola, particularly Haiti. Well, my dad was a very interesting man. He was the son of a general from Costa Rica, and he was actually indoctrinated into the Catholic Church, basically through the monks' education, and where he learned Latin, Italian, Spanish, French. And my father was a very cultured man, and he always said to me when he took me on his lap, he said, "My child, there are things that are more important than material things. There are things that will light your life and will light the lives of others once you learn to contribute to them. Remember this. Always take the lantern of knowledge, of wisdom, into the tunnel of darkness, which is ignorance, and bring forth the light, and then you will be a more complete person." So my message to many, especially people that feel that they're overwhelmed and things do not come to them and they struggle, and especially youngsters, like when I was young, I would always want to be this or want to be that. It takes time, it takes work, it takes knowledge, and it takes perseverance. And once one dominates this, material things mean nothing. It's the spiritual, and it is the academics, when you share with others, that sheds the light onto those who are thirsty for it. Actually, it's very important, and it's allowing us to grasp and to understand the immigrations that went to New Orleans from the island of Hispaniola, particularly Haiti, and the contributions that in this island, these people who governed then contribute through their knowledge and their talents to New Orleans. And we can definitely say that it was in the area of law. And it wasn't only a matter of slaves, it was a matter of people with knowledge, with experience, and that were willing to contribute and to be part of that society, regardless of their ethnic background or their color. And for this matter, I think it was very important when I decided to do research on the legal system in New Orleans and its origins, that we go back to the very beginning and the people that did contribute to that particular time. It's been a little uphill, because when you research things that are to the human mind illogical and actually not really within the perspectives of what has been documented in history, it becomes difficult for credibility. I've had difficulty in this sense, but nonetheless I pursue, because whenever there is a wanting, and the wanting makes things happen. And I believe I have a commitment to many young people, very youngsters in school and in colleges and in the world, to bring forth light to a lot of things in history that are not edited or unspoken of. Well, actually, I think it's an ongoing story, because when one wants to continuously research these subjects and topics that are not as available, because a lot of the subjects that I do research are unedited, it becomes a little bit difficult to obtain grants and funds and to explain to people exactly what I'm doing. And I have been forced and cornered to struggle in ways that have allowed me, little by little, to ask for monies here, monies there, primarily from my family, which they understand, and they've lived throughout many years the efforts that I have put into this to recover a lot of the documentation and a lot of history that's not documented. I have just currently published a work on Haiti and the displaced people of Africa. I think it's very important to understand there are many documents out there, many books, many edited work, many videos, all kinds of works that are tremendously accumulative, and beautiful movies, The Color of Purple and others, to mention Roots. But I figured that there was something very, very much important that needed to be projected as a very strong message. And it's the contribution of the displaced people of Africa, and to actually focus on the fact that these people were not slaves when they were entrapped and sent to the Americas and to Europe and to the world. These were people that were well organized. They were structured in their society. They had their religions, they had their trades, their talents, and all of these people were bought and displaced, approximately, based on my research, 125 ethnic backgrounds, ethnic groups from Africa into Haiti and to the United States and to Europe and the world. And these were people of great knowledge, of great worth. And I think that we owe a recognition to the displaced people of Africa, African Americans in the world, to reclassify them as displaced people and not as slaves. Slavery is a condition that man imposes upon one another. But in this case, particularly based on my research that I have done, these were people of great contribution, and I think they need to be merited. I believe that my Hispanic roots have allowed me to actually penetrate barriers of ethnic backgrounds. Being the daughter of a German descent from Costa Rica, having had descendants from Italy in the area of Como, having had my mother, having her descendants from Spain, and my grandfather's mother being from Cuba and from a certain area in Spain as well. I feel that I have been able to touch the hearts of those little people in the Caribbean and bring those little people and actually project them into what greatness they have and they are represented as being into our society here in America. I know of many stories, success stories, of Hispanics, of Blacks, of Haitians, of all nationalities that have come to America, and they have been able to succeed. Succeed, why? Because there is liberty, and there is always hope. Hope for those who look for it, hope for those who cherish it, and those who really take their experience and share it and bring forth the message that one can succeed wherever they are, as long as they believe in themselves and those that have given them the example of success. One experience I remember, and I recall clearly is that when we did the exhibit on the Expeditionary Army, which was that army which Napoleon sends to overthrow Toussaint Louverture, his general, which he had empowered, seemingly because he felt that Toussaint was becoming too powerful and that he was going to emancipate absolutely all the blacks of the island, including the slaves. And I remember that we did this exhibit in the House of France. And there, who inaugurated was incredibly the ambassador of France and the ambassador of Haiti. For the very first time, we had put two conflicting situations on both sides. The history of the French coming in as expeditionary army to subdue the activity of Toussaint Louverture taking over the island. And at the same time, that which is Toussaint Louverture, the black hero, that man that liberated and allowed and set forth the path of independence of a first black nation in the Western Hemisphere, which followed suit Liberia. Here we see a situation, historical conflict, but yet it was a wonderful situation because we had the ambassador from France shake hands with that ambassador of Haiti and unite in an effort to bring forth the truth and the knowledge of this history, which was so impacting. It was very important. That night we had over 500 people come and share with us the experience of the exhibit, which was very graphic. Soldiers, you know, sabers. We had all kinds of things that were very interesting. The first regimental flags, le drapon, le fanion documents that allowed the recognition of the first Black Army is part of the ordinance of the French. And it was a very important moment because both France and the Blacks shared something in common, which I recall the conversation that was spoken then was, isn't this incredible how the Black soldiers of America fought once again under our flag in Europe? And it was very interesting. In World War II, they fought in World War I under the French flag.